All right, hi guys. So we are going to work on our bubbles. This is Kiss the Girl. And the instructions call for silver gray and turquoise. I thought I had silver gray in my stash, but it turns out that I don't. So what I'm actually going to be using is a super pale greeny blue color called Glacier and antique teal for my bubbles. This is just, when you're using stash, you got to kind of go with what you got. And so this is the closest that I could come to the silver gray. The beauty of these kinds of blankets is you can tailor them to whatever you need them to be, especially if you're just using out of your stash. And I am a huge proponent of using your stash. One other thing that I want to bring up too that we haven't discussed up to this point is counting your stitches on each edge. I give stitch counts after every single row, telling you basically what you should have in place. So I went through and I made sure that I had 51 stitches on every single side of my square before we're going to start here. I recommend that you make sure to utilize those stitch counts at the end of each row so that you are on with what the pattern is saying, because the bigger we get, the more important it's going to be for you to be on the same stitch count that I am on, because a lot of math goes into every single row, and sometimes if we're off, then what the pattern is calling for isn't going to match up with what you're able to get on your row. So I don't want to beat the dead horse, so we'll just keep going on and get this next row going, but just make sure that you count after each row going forward. All right, so we are going to join in our corner with a chain 5. This is going to count as both a half double crochet and a chain 3. And then we are going to half double crochet into that same corner space. Now we are just going to half double crochet in each double crochet going across. This is a very simple row, and rather than boring you half to death, I think everybody's gonna know, put a half double crochet in every one. When you get to your corners, you're gonna put a half double crochet, a chain 3, and a half double crochet. All right, I'm gonna keep working on this. When we get back over to this side, I'll come back. We're gonna actually be changing colors after this row. So I'll meet you back over here. Okay, I have made it all the way around. I'm just finishing up the last couple half double crochets. And into the last stitch, we are going to then slip stitch into the second loop in the original chain 5. And we have completed this side. At this time, you should probably make sure that you've got exactly 53 half double crochets on each side. And you can also cut off, because we're going to switch colors. Alrighty, so we've got our half double crochet row of silver gray if you're working in that, and like I said, I'm working in Glacier. All right, I'm going to use antique teal as my turquoise color. Doesn't matter what corner you start in. We are going to pull through with a slip stitch like normal and chain 3. That's going to be our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, in the corner. Okay, now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 2. Now we're going to do a popcorn into this stitch right here. So that's 1 double crochet. It's actually going to be a total of 5 double crochets in one stitch. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull your hook out. Now you are going to reinsert your hook into the first double crochet and the loop. Gonna yarn over, pull through the loop and the double crochet. Now according to the instructions, we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are going to skip 3. That's 1, 2, 3. In this stitch, we are going to popcorn again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Insert into the first and the loop. Yarn over, pull through loop and first, chain 4, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first and loop, yarn over, loop and first, and chain 4, 2, 3, 4. All right, I want you to keep making the same repetition. Chain 4, skip 3, popcorn in the next. And I'm going to meet you on the other side of this row right here, and we'll finish up this side together so that we can see how it ends at the other side. Okay, I have finished making all of the popcorns along this row except for the very last one. I'm at the point where I'm skipping 3, 1, 2, 3, and popcorning. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Insert in the first and the loop, pull through the loop and the first. Now before I go any further, we started with the first popcorn, and then in the brackets there were 12 more popcorns. So in total we should have 13 popcorns per side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. All right, so after those, the remaining popcorn has been made, it says to chain 2 and skip 2. 1, 2, and we are going to 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet as our corner. And we're going to start right back over with chain 2, skip 2, and popcorn in the next. Two, 3, 4, and 5. Go through the first and the loop, loop and first, and chain 4. Okay, same concept, same exact. Repeated pattern going around. We're going to have 13 popcorns on each side. We're going to put 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet as our corners. All right, so I'm going to let you loose, and I'll meet you back over here when we complete the round. Okay, I have gotten all of my bobbles and popcorns done all the way around. I have all my corners in place, and I am to the last chain 2, I'm going to join with the original chain 3, which is a double crochet, and I'm going to now snip the color off because we're changing colors again. All right, and I don't know about you guys, but I like to tuck in all my ends before I move on to the next row. Teresa asked me one time when she was reading through one of my patterns, do you really tuck all those ends in? Because I would write at the end of the, of every row, cut and weave in ends. Yes, I really do weave in the ends after every row, because then they are not getting in my way. They are also not waiting for me at the end of an afghan. And when I'm done, I'm done. And I don't have to still do the whole big job of weaving in everything. Just an old habit. Okay, so let's move on to our next color. And next color is actually going back to the silver gray, if you're using the gray. I'm using the Glacier. So, I'm gonna move this over just a little bit. So once again, in any corner, join with a chain 1, because we are going to single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet in the corner. Sorry, I'm having trouble grabbing my yarn. It's because I'm holding it down with my finger. Okay. We're going to single crochet into each of the first 2 double crochets. And now we are going to work around these chains here. We want them to be hidden once we're done with this row. So we are going to double crochet into the stitches from round 18. So we're going to double crochet into this first. Like I said, we're catching all of this in here and working our double crochet. We're going to go into the next one, do the same thing, working around that chain. Try not to go super tight with these, only because as you do it, it's going to push this section down into this section, and you don't want to do it so tightly that it is actually pulling, like smashing your popcorns down along with it. So we are now going to half double crochet into our popcorn. I always just go right into this space where in between all the double crochets that were pulled together, and half double crochet in there so that it gets the benefit of showing most of the popcorn. Now we are going to double crochet around the chain into the row below, and we're going to do that 3 times. We'll half double crochet into the popcorn, and see how that's kind of starting to hide that in there, where all you see are just these little bubbles. That's why I called them bubbles, is because they stick out. They look like little dots. Okay. We're just going to continue to do double crochets into the previous row, around the chains, half double crocheting into each of the popcorns. All right, keep doing that all the way across here. I'll meet you back over here at this corner so we can do the corner together. Okay, I have completed my row, filling in all of my bubbles. This is what the back side's gonna look like. So we'll have just a touch of color back there, which is okay. But all of those chains that could possibly get caught on little toes or fingers are all gonna be protected behind these double crochets. I'm gonna finish up my last 2 double crochet. And I'm gonna single crochet into the last 2 doubles. And then single, chain 3, single in the corner. And now we just turn and continue the same work going across, putting double crochets into our half doubles from round 18. All right, so single into the first 2. Double and double and half double in our popcorns. Okay, so like I said, each time that you do these, the information between the brackets is for each side. Just do each side exactly the same. I'll meet you back over here. We'll end up the row together. Okay, I have come to the end of my round. As you can see, there's a nice layer of bubbles there. And I'm gonna finish up with single crochet in the last 2 doubles and joining with my first single. Go ahead and tuck your ends in. We are done with the bubbles. Aren't those cute? Okay, next up is going to be the rocks, and then that'll be the last thing that we do for week 2 of Kiss the Girl. I'll be right back with my graphite gray. As a matter of fact, I am using steel gray.